With the UK's government struggling to agree on a withdrawal deal, the chances of the UK leaving the EU with no clear trade deal are still high.
I have always said that these negotiations would be tough, and they were always bound to be toughest in the final straight. While both sides want a deal, we have to face up to the fact that, despite the progress we have made, there are two big issues where we remain a long way apart. The first is our economic relationship after we have left. Here, the EU is still only offering us two options. The first option would involve the UK staying in the European Economic Area and a customs union with the EU. This would mean we'd still have to abide by all the EU rules. Uncontrolled immigration from the EU would continue, and we couldn't do trade deals we want with other countries. That would make a mockery of the referendum we had 2 years ago. The second option would be a basic free trade agreement for Great Britain that would introduce checks at the Great Britain-EU border. But even worse, Northern Ireland would effectively remain in the customs union and parts of the single market, permanently separated economically from the rest of the UK by a border down the Irish Sea.
Most businesses are preparing for the worst case scenario if no trade deal can be reached.
In finance, no deal means no access to European markets. That risks cutting off an industry that accounts for 12% of UK tax receipts. But regulators have forced banks to get on with their no-deal planning.
So what they've done is they've looked at the various locations across Europe, decided which one's the best one for them. So maybe a place where they've got existing operations, maybe that their competitors are there. They started to acquire premises, so they got their offices. They started thinking about the people they need to move to those locations. But crucially, they started to get the authorisations they need to enable them to do business in April 2019.
Ingredients for ASI's cancer and epilepsy drugs crisscross several borders before being made in the UK for sale worldwide. The rules say drugs for sale in Europe must be tested in an EU country. So with no deal, ASI, a Japanese company, needs a new facility. Ensuring no disruption to drug supply in 2019 means spending money now.
Before Brexit, a UK business would come under the EU Economic Area rules. It wouldn't have to comply with any of the procedures a business outside of the EU would have to comply with. However, in a no-deal scenario, now when a UK business will sell goods to the EU, it would need to follow the same procedures as if selling goods to anywhere else in the world. If you are a VAT registered business before Brexit, you would charge normal 20% VAT on all sales made to EU customers, and don't charge any VAT to EU businesses, i.e. B2B sales, who are VAT registered in the EU. Furthermore, the EU business wouldn't pay any import VAT or custom duties when receiving goods from the UK. This was done so that no VAT was charged and encouraged into EU trade. However, now when you sell to an EU customer, it would be like selling to any other customer in the rest of the world. Hence, you would zero rate the sale. When selling to an EU business, you will no longer need to complete an EC sales list as part of your VAT return. Instead, you would need to keep proof of the goods you exported, for example, a copy of the export declaration. We hope you found this video helpful. Please click on subscribe to receive our latest updates as Brexit unfolds.